We're going to be looking at a game that I played as Spread of Rampant Green against England 5. Spread of Rampant Green is a defensive spirit that can really stall out the game and also benefits other players if you're playing with multiple spirits with its use of letting other spirits just like place extra presence. But as true solo, this spirit is able to stall a lot, but especially against England. England's win condition is usually like a fear victory, and Spread of Rampant Green doesn't really do much damage or generate much fear by itself. So I had played a good amount of games just trying to figure out like what works with this spirit. And I realized that I had to go major powers. I tried like going lots of minor powers, like quick 4-card plays. But I think this spirit really needs major powers, like most spirits do against England. And you'll see it, the card that I have kind of based my strategy around is Manifest Incarnation. What this card does is it generates fear and then removes a town and city and then ravages again. And you've seen this card if you watch my other videos. I actually tend to rely on this card a good amount. And the reason is because it also scales with the number of towns and cities in a land. So England is just going to be building, 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 and you can drop a Manifest Incarnation, especially with the elemental threshold, and just gain a ton of fear all at once. So Manifest Incarnation is really good, but Spread of Rampant Green also tends to have a problem with energy gain. So that first minor card that I drew was Gift of Constancy. And Gift of Constancy lets you reclaim a card, but more importantly, it's 0 cost. It gives you 2 energy when you use it. And it also has a sun element, which Manifest Incarnation needs 3 sun and 3 moon to get its elemental threshold. I'm not sure if I use the elemental threshold here as much. We'll see. I don't remember, to be honest, but yeah, Gift of Constancy is actually kind of a clutch card to have in this game. I mean, you'll see that I get like, this is kind of the ideal game using this strategy, because I get Manifest Incarnation pretty quickly. Gift of Constancy I get like immediately. I get some good lands, so I'm not just like building like, well, I guess Sands like shows up twice here, but it tends to kind of rotate through the lands a good amount. So if you've been paying attention to the gameplay, I mean, I've just been using like the unique powers to just place as much presence on the board as possible. I don't care too much about building up as long as I'm kind of controlling that 7-card win or lose condition. But usually I'm just using it to prevent a ravage. So I get Cycles of Time and Tide, which is another minor power that I really tend to rely on actually in a lot of matchups. And I think that's because it synergizes with Dahan, it synergizes with Manifest Incarnation really well. It removes Blight. So like pretty much any defensive spirit I'm using Manifest Incarnation on, or I'm using a Manifest Incarnation with like Vital Strength of the Earth, I'll I'll tend to pick up Cycles of Time or Time and Tide. It's just a good all-around card. So far, Blight's looking really well, or looking really good. Sand's just Ravage, but I do have Cycles of Time and Tide, so I can just get rid of that at another point. I'd really like to use Manifest Incarnation on the corner wetlands, but the resulting Ravage would end up blighting the land. So I just push out a town from there, just kind of keep the number of towns and cities relatively in check. And you also kind of see that Spread of Rampant Green's innate powers don't do all that much. I had tried a strategy where I was like concentrating on like Plant and Moon to use try to get the tier 3 of the innate. But I think it's called Creepers Tear into Stone and Mortar or something. But at its, against England, doing 3 damage, it doesn't really do all that much. So it can't even kill a city, so it's not really that great. And then its second innate is based on water and like defense, which is good at stalling, but England, you kind of have like a time limit. You're gonna run out of time. Spread of Rampant Green, once you get all of its presence onto the board, like late game, it kind of falls off in terms of strength, and you start struggling to put out as much presence. So I'm already down to like what is it, 5 presence. So wetlands are ravaging. I do have enough stuff there to prevent a ravage, but I'm already starting to kind of wind down in terms of like the amount of presence I could put on the board. But we are in Terror level 2. We have a good amount of blight left. So the idea is just use Manifest Incarnation as much as possible. And hopefully get to a terror or a fear victory. So right now I'm trying to get 3 Sun, 3 Moon. I have Cycles of Tide and Time. Gift of Constancy is always good. And then Manifest Incarnation. So I do want a card with Moon in it. And I get Shadows of the Burning Forest, which is 0 cost. It's Moon and it has a plant in it also. And it generates 2 fear. So it's kind of, it's fear, it's like elements that we want, and then it's also it also reaches the elemental threshold of Manifest Incarnation. I realize Cycles of Time and Tide is 1 away, so I do need to put a presence into the jungles instead of where I put it before, just so I can target that land and use the card. But you can kind of see the loop that I'm going for. Gift of Constancy gives me 2 energy. I get 3 energy from just my energy gain. And so I can reclaim and keep doing these cards over and over again. So the thresholded Manifest Incarnation, it gives an extra 3 fear, and it also takes away 6 from the the sort of like retaliation ravage that occurs whenever you use the power. So I use it on that corner wetlands, and then I let the ravage go through because it's like -6. So the Dahan counterattack in that ravage and can kill another city. So huge, huge turn there. I have 5 fear cards right now. And I'm just going to do it again. Kos is ravaging. Horns of Disaster is also a great card to get. Sun and Moon, 0 cost, 2 fear. It's a card I'm looking for. And I make the decision here, instead of using Portents of Disaster, to use I think Shadows of the Burning Forest, or one of the Plant and Moon cards. And I'm not really sure what I'm thinking of right now. I think I might want to be using something with Plant, because I don't need the extra sun, so I could use something with Moon. So maybe I'm thinking like, I think I use Dark and Tangled Woods here, and I think I wanted to just get the extra plant element, just in case, because it gives me the defend 2, and it also gives me the second tier of Tear into Mortar. But the defend doesn't really do much. Well, I guess it defends that corner wetlands. Oh, I think that's why I did it, just to get the plant, so I can defend the corner wetlands. I get Weave Lies, or the Rising Interest in the Island, and I choose Weave Lies. Takes away another fear card, and grants a little bit of fear. So I have 6 fear cards at Terra level 3, which is, I mean, you know how Terra level 3 has some crazy effects. So I just kind of run through these, and slow action I'll definitely be winning, but the fear card ends up just killing a bunch of towns anyway, for a win. Thanks for watching.